It's Loving Jay, and I'm going to do a video on a very sensitive topic. So um, feel free to not look through the whole video, but if it's something that you're struggling with, or something that you've been thinking about, or something that you've experienced and you're not sure what to do, then hopefully you and I can get through it together. Okay? The topic for the video is suicide. I will say that after um, having been suicidal when I was younger, and now having experienced the loss of two family members due to suicide, suicide is not something that is easy to get through, um, to handle. It's very difficult. Um, if you are watching this video and you are suicidal, I want you to consider that your life is needed. You are loved, and the world would be dimmer without you. If you are suffering through depression, anxiety, whatever it may be, ask for help. And I want to make sure that you know that you can call 800-273-8255. Again, that's 800-273-8255. Or you can go to suicidepreventionlifeline.org. I'll spell that. SUICIDEPREVENTLIFLINE.org. Being.org, that means that it's official. So let's define what suicide is. So suicide is the act or an instance of taking one's own life voluntarily or intentionally. It says also ruin of one's own perspectives or interests, excuse me. So why was I suicidal? So I live in the South, and being in the South, there are things that contradict or go against the grain of the of Southern living. You know, I live in the Bible Belt. I'm in South Carolina, and there are a lot of things that just aren't talked about. Also, being a part of the Black community, there are certain topics or certain things that you don't talk about. You sweep them under the rug, and they don't get addressed for years and years. And sometimes people don't know how to handle that. And the pressures of not talking about certain things is too much for people to bear. And somebody might feel as though they're alone or they have no one to talk to. And they feel in that moment that the best thing for them to do is to no longer be on the earth. And in my case, that's what it was. There were some things that I personally didn't feel comfortable talking to people about. And I just couldn't deal with it on my own, you know. There were certain scenarios or situations that I was in that I didn't know how to handle. And I felt in that moment that it would be best for me not to be here than to deal with whatever I was going through. If you identify with that, know that you're not alone. Having been on the other side, having lost again two family members to suicide, suicide hurts people. I know that when people commit suicide, generally, in that moment, it feels that's the only thing that you can do. You think that by ending your life, you're making it better for others, when in actuality, it's the opposite. It's really hard to deal with. How it affected me, having gone through it 2 times, I went into straight depression because I mourned the loss of that person. I wish that I could have helped or done more, but the truth is, I did everything that I could do that that person would allow me to do. So that means you have to have the conversation. Your life is worth saving. You might be the next person to cure cancer. You might be the next person to solve domestic violence. You might be the next person who solves healthcare or finds a cure for HIV or AIDS. You might be the next person that puts us on a different planet. Your life has meaning. And you have to communicate to people as much as you can that you need help. It's okay to say, I need help. It's totally okay. All right? Life is not easy. It's not. It's totally not. But know that you are needed and you are appreciated. I went into a depression after I mourned the loss of my loved one for a couple of months. My body was tensed. I started losing my hair. Um, I was in a daze, because it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. I got through it by remembering the good times, um, knowing that that person is at peace now, um, knowing that I did everything that I could, and knowing that as difficult as it is to say, I have to move on. You know, reality is that person is no longer, if they've committed suicide and that's what you're dealing with, they're no longer with us. Always cherish the memories. Always cherish the memories. Um, be present. Tell people that you love them. Hug people. Call people. Text people. Life is very short. I could wake up tomorrow morning, go to work, and get into an accident, and I could pass. Which is why I hug my mom, my friends, my family as much as I can. And I always tell them that I love you. My significant other, too. It might seem a little bit tacky or it might seem not genuine, but I need them to know that regardless of what happens to me or what happens to them, that they are loved and they are needed and they make my life easier. Um, if you are suicidal, reach out to a counselor, reach out to the suicide prevention hotline, text them, online chat them, reach out to a therapist, seek help. You are needed and you are loved. The impact of someone taking their life is something that I wouldn't wish on anyone because it hurts so bad. Truth sets you free. If there's something that you've been dealing with, something that's been hurting you, something that's been oppressing you, something that has been holding you captive, truth. Speak your truth. Own your truth. It's hurtful in the process, but it's well worth it. Because when you walk in your truth of who you are and certain things may have happened in the past or in the present, when you walk in that truth and you own it, there's nothing that anybody can say that will unsettle you or break your foundation. Again, you are loved and you are needed. Reach out for help. Think about the impact of your loss of life to others. You may feel as though you're alone by yourself, but you're not. You are so not. And I'm here to tell you that even though I may never meet you or may never interact with you, that I love you for who you are, the whole person, the good and the bad. And you are needed. You are needed. Seek a support group. Again, seek a therapist. There's nothing wrong with seeking a therapist. Everybody should talk to a therapist because life is not easy. It's very difficult. It's very stressful. And there's a safe box. And they're held to a code of ethics that if they violate, that they could be in big trouble. Remember, you are loved and you are needed. If you need anything, especially when it comes to this topic. Think about the impact of what happens after. Think of your loved ones, think of your friends. For those that have experienced the loss of a loved one due to suicide, know that they loved you and they did what they thought was best, and you did the best that you could do for what was allowed. Sometimes the loss of a loved one pushes you to the place where you need to be to fulfill your sole purpose. And that's what I'm experiencing now. I hope that it never gets to that, but know, again, you are loved and you are needed. And it's been my pleasure to share in this moment with you. I'm sending positive vibes, peace, and love to anyone who's watching this video and who may have experienced the loss of a loved one or may be contemplating suicide. My hope is that you really consider the impacts of everything and communicate and own your truth. It's okay. You will make it. Life is not easy. Life is not fair. But you can make it. You are loved and you are needed. I'm going to say that over and over again because I need you to believe it. You are loved and you are needed. Communicate. Own your truth. Talk to someone. No matter what the issue is, no matter how long ago it was, how much it is, or whatever it may be, talk to somebody. Okay? I'm wishing you all love, all positivity, all peace within. You are loved. You are needed. Have a good one.